The moment you defend yourself, you lose power. Short pause. Carl Jung warned us about this, and almost no one listens. Now imagine this. Two voices are shouting inches from your face. One demands explanations. The other throws accusations you do not deserve. You feel the pulse tightening in your throat. Your hands want to move. Your mind begins assembling sentences, hoping the world will finally understand you. And yet, true power lives precisely in the gesture almost no one masters. Silence, not weak silence, not fear, but deliberate, grounded stillness. Silence is not absence, it is a sheathed sword. The person who understands this stops begging for understanding and begins to govern the narrative. Because, as Carl Jung reminded us, truth alone rarely decides anything. What decides is the story people believe, and the one who controls that story is not the most sincere, but the most centered. The problem begins the moment you feel the urge to explain yourself. Someone twists your intention. You rush to clarify. It wasn't like that. Let me explain. Let me prove it. Without realizing it, you have already surrendered. Because by justifying yourself, you silently declare two things. First, that the other person has moral authority over you. Second, that you need their approval to feel whole. You enter their courtroom under their rules, before their audience, awaiting their verdict. This is the most expensive mistake in the psychology of power, accepting another person's frame. Carl Jung would describe this as surrendering your center to the shadow of someone else. Power is not born from transparency. It is born from mastery of the inner state and the outer scene. Excessive explanation does not repair reputation, it weakens it. Before a crowd, the one who rushes to defend themselves looks like someone hiding something, even when they are innocent. It is unfair. But the human world has never been a perfect tribunal. What you call clarification sounds like anxiety. What you feel as cooperation is perceived as need. And need is the favorite scent of predators. There is another path. One that does not beg for love but commands respect. One that does not seek permission but establishes presence. It is the path of the silent operator. Rooted not in ego but in individuation. Do not justify yourself. Breathe, pause, observe. When the room expects a desperate explanation, choose calm. That audible emptiness disarms. It steals the emotional script from the accuser and leaves them exposed. People begin to wonder, if this person were truly cornered, why are they not rushing to defend themselves? And that doubt, quiet, subtle, begins to protect you. Imagine a simple moment. Someone says, "You're arrogant." The common response says, "You misunderstood me." The centered response says, "Interesting perspective." And then, silence. No pleading, no resume of good behavior, no defense, just presence. This is not avoidance, it is frame control. You close the door to emotional combat and open a window to reflection. The attacker hears only themselves. Their anger echoes back until it sounds ridiculous. Now comes the second weapon, elegant reversal. Accusation, "You're manipulative." Response. It's interesting how people call manipulation what they can't control. Accusation, "You're cold." Response. It's strange how frightening calm can feel. You do not insult. You do not threaten. You do not justify. You reframe. And in doing so, you expose psychology, not facts. Psychology, when revealed, leaves the aggressor naked in public. At work, this skill opens doors that technical brilliance never could. Someone says your strategy is flawed. The ego wants a presentation. Mastery says, "Good observation. How would you do it differently?" The burden shifts. Those who criticize must now create. Many voices fall silent when asked to build. In relationships, someone says, "You don't care." The anxious list sacrifices. The operator holds the gaze. That's how you feel. Nothing more. The storm loses fuel. On social media, someone calls you fake. The novice writes an essay. The operator delivers one clean line, not to persuade the troll, but to orient the audience. Because power is not about winning arguments, it's about conserving energy. Whoever shouts first usually loses. Whoever speaks last from inner calm often prevails without raising their voice. This discipline demands more than words. It demands a body that does not betray you. Relaxed shoulders, slow breathing, still hands. Hold eye contact 1 second longer than expected. Then look away as if approval is unnecessary. People do not consciously analyze this, but they feel it. Physical serenity validates verbal authority. Remember this rule. Never argue facts inside a moral frame. Good and evil are traps. Ask instead, who benefits from this? When endless explanations are demanded, offer Sure. This conversation won't improve outcomes. If you want solutions, we'll define metrics and deadlines. If you want accusations, I won't participate. Those who seek chaos resent clarity. Those who seek results welcome it. Silence is not passivity, it is selection. You decide which battles deserve your energy and which do not. When attention becomes expensive, cheap attacks disappear. A reputation for being inaccessible protects you better than 1,000 arguments. Those who fear losing your presence choose their words carefully. Those who hate your calm expose themselves. You remain untouched. Carl Jung understood this deeply. The greatest freedom is not being loved, but not needing to be. Love that arrives naturally is a blessing. Love that is chaste becomes a weapon. Humility without a spine is submission. Humility with a spine is sovereignty. Strength without consciousness becomes brutality. Consciousness without strength becomes neurosis. Balance is power. There will be moments when clarification is necessary, legally, professionally. Even then, preserve the architecture of power. Brief, objective, without emotion. Write like a notary, not a victim. And sometimes, the strongest sentence is simply, no. No explanation, no performance. Emptiness forces others to confront their own anxiety. The room learns who the adult is. Practice this daily, square breathing, prepared closures, pre-written reframes. Do not improvise under pressure. Improvisation is often anxiety in disguise. And repeat this sentence until it settles into your bones. I owe no explanations, not arrogance, psychic hygiene. You owe coherence to yourself, not obedience to noise. When you stop justifying yourself, something unexpected happens. Your real allies appear, because individuation repels the crowd but attracts the conscious few. People will defend you without being asked, not from pity, but from respect. This is victory without war. If this unsettled you, it means it touched something real. The world trained you to explain, to apologize, to shrink. Today, you end that script. When this ends, ask yourself, who have I been answering to that does not deserve my voice? Write their name. Write this sentence. I owe no explanations. And breathe. That is the beginning of your inner kingdom. Remain calm. Guard your presence. Respect your time. We'll continue sharpening the edge in the next one.